Welcome back. We're talking about logic here. We're starting a new section. Logic is, it's important to know, the study of the standard rules of reasoning. This means that being illogical is not being stupid. So, because logic has standard rules, if you follow the rules of logic, you will get the same answer as everyone else. It doesn't mean that that's the right answer for every situation, but there are standard rules, so there are certain ways that logical answers will have to be the same. If everything was logical, I always point out there'd be no music or art. All these things that are creative tend not to be based on standard logic. So a statement, now you'd think a statement is just something I'm throwing around, but it actually has a definition. So if something actually is a statement, it's a complete sentence that makes a claim. So it's got to be a complete sentence, and it's got to make a claim. Very important thing to keep in mind. Someone can make a statement, and what they state can be wrong, false, or a lie, any of those things. They're still statements. Something is not a statement because it's true or false. It's because it might be true or false, because there's something there that you can test, what we call the truth or falsity of it. So a statement has to make a claim. Okay. It's not a request, a command, or a fragment. So if someone makes a request of you or demands something of you, that's not a statement because you can't prove that it's right or wrong. If something is a statement, it is possible for the speaker to be lying. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but it's possible that they're lying because they're taking a stand. That's another way to view it. An opinion is a statement that cannot be proven or disproven, okay? If I say, Norwell Community College needs more parking, that's my opinion. And so I am making a statement, but it can't be proven or disproven as true or false. There's an opinion based in it, but you're making a statement of your opinion. So opinions are okay. A fact is a statement that can be proven true or false to every single person. So if we say, the world has been getting warmer over the last 100 years, that is a fact. Okay, so if climate change deniers want to say something else about it, they can't deny that the temperature has risen, because that's a fact that everyone can say. They might say, well, in my opinion, it's not man's fault. That's something different. But a fact is something that no one can have their opinion about it. So that leads to the famous quote, you've heard it stolen many times from Daniel Patrick Moynihan, that says, "Sir, you are entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts." Each one would be a statement. But we got to know that a fact is true or false based on reality, and an opinion is believed or not, but still people are making a statement of their opinion. Anything presented as a fact that is actually that can actually be disproven is just a false statement. It is a statement, but it turns out to be false because any statement has a value that's true or false. A negation makes the opposite claim of any assertion. An assertion is kind of the thing that people make when they make a statement. They're making a claim. They're generally making an assertion. So if you want to create the negation of any statement, and you want to sound formal and old school British, you might say, "It is false that," and then repeat the entire statement after that. And that will always create the negation. But what it will create is an unreduced negation, right? If I say, "I am not going to the store," and then you want to find the negation of it, well, one way to do it is to say, "It is false that I am not going to the store." However, a lot of people will look at why are you saying it like that? But actually, it's very important that we properly reduce what's actually being said if we're going to say the reduced form of that. It is false that I'm not going to the store. So it's a lie when someone says you're not going to the store. The truth is then forced to be that I am going to the store. So if someone says, negate the statement, "I am not going to the store," you can say it is false that I'm not going to the store, or you can say I am going to the store. Those are equal statements. They have the same result in terms of truth or falseness. So now I want to take a look at this, which is, hopefully it fits on this board. Congress, this is a statement that says Congress failed to overturn the veto of the bill. You need to know what a veto is, and we'll get to that before we get to work on it. Of the bill that would have stopped logging. Logging is cutting down trees. So it took up the whole width of this board, but okay. Now the question is, if that entire statement is what reality is into right now, where we stand right now, is logging going on? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to look for words that reverse what's happening. So the original thing that's happening is logging. If nobody says anything, they say there is logging going on. That's logging, nothing that's reversing it. We're going to look for every word that reverses it. Now I'm going to work my way backwards from logging because we have logging. If we stop logging, then at that moment there is no logging. So we got that. Stopping is a way to reverse an action. Anything else that would reverse the action? Have doesn't reverse an action. Would doesn't reverse an action. That or bill or the or of. But a veto is a reversal of action. A veto is saying no. Someone's about to do something and someone with greater authority gets to step in and say, nope, that's not happening, because of their positions in, a hierarchy or a government or whatever it is. The veto can stop something that is happening, or at least it can reverse where we've been. So a veto always reverses. You can think of a veto taking something that's going and making it stop. But a veto can also take something that had been stopped and reverse it to going. So a veto is a reversal word. The overturn. Overturning. V is an article, not going to change. Overturn is also going to reverse what the action had already been. So now we've got keywords here, stopped and veto and overturn. We'll keep looking backward. Two, it's not going to change us, but failing to do something means that it didn't work. That's another reversing word. Okay, so government's not high on a lot of people's lists right now, so people pretty much think Congress fails at everything. But the key here is that the failing to do something means that if they had not failed, we didn't say failed, if Congress succeeded, we would not be reversing our status again. So let's look at how many times we've had to reverse what we were doing. There was logging, and then one reversal with the stopping of logging. There's no logging. Someone vetoed the stopping of logging. That's number 2. So now logging is back on. Someone overturned the veto. Logging has stopped again. But they were thinking Congress might overturn it, and it turns out that Congress failed to overturn the veto. So Congress failing to overturn it means Congress changed nothing from the way it was. There was a veto by a person of authority over someone who prior to that had said stop logging. So you might have lumberjacks doing this, protesters getting it to stop, a local person taking it to court where essentially the court got it to be vetoed, and then the opportunity of Congress to say, listen, that court, we're stronger than you, we're going to reverse what you said, so we're trying to overturn it, but because they failed, this whole thing means that logging continues. Had Congress succeeded, logging would have stopped. If Congress had successfully overturned it, that would have been 3. If no one was even talking about overturning it, someone vetoed the stopping, it would have continued. And if someone just made it stop and that's all that happened, it would have been held up. What this is doing is essentially, I see this as multiplying by -1. Multiplying by -1 reverses the value of a number. Whatever the digits are stay the same, but it reverses it from positive to negative. Very common thought. From negative to positive is the one that gives us trouble when people have double negatives and all that, but that's still true. So we're logging, we're not, we are, we're not, we are. And this tells us that with 1 to the power of -4, that's an even power, that we wind up with +1, which means no change to what was originally going on. And that's a way to attack some of these problems where you want to reduce what's happening. So now, I want to reverse some other things though. What I want to do is find a negation concept for these words. Some, none, or all. Some, none, standing for no one or not any, not even one. Right, if you want to think of that as an abbreviation for not even one, that's fine. Or all. So now we want to take the negation. Well, what that means is when we go for the negation, we're going to look at opportunities. The negation of the word some cannot be some. You can't say You know, some people did that. You can't just say, I'm going to leave it alone as that. But what we have to do is say, it is false that, or in fact, the word not, right? Negation can also be done with this thing, like if A wants to become negated, we write the squiggle in front of it, which means not A. If it says some people went to the store, and now we're going to say it is false that some people went to the store. Some means at least one. Some cannot be 0. So you take your sum, S-O-M-E, and you say it's at least 1. So if they say it is, initial statement is some people went to the store. That means at least one person went to the store. And now you reverse it. You say it's false that at least one person went to the store. And what we wind up with here is this is equal to the same thing as at least one. And when we go for the negation, we say it is false that at least one person went to the store. So it's a complete lie that anyone went to the store. Not anyone went to the store. And therefore we're going to say none. Because the reverse of at least one is not even one, and you got that. Now, what we come up with for that one is certainty that if it's false that at least one went, nobody went. So that one may be quite clear, but in the live classroom I often have some people asking questions of me and then each other before we try to come to consensus, and we don't always come to consensus, but the fact is, under the logical rule, if you say at least one went is a lie, then nobody went. Okay, the next one that we've got here is none. So none means not even one, right? None at all means not even one person went. And now we want to negate not even one. So we say not even one person went to the store. We're going to say it's a lie that not even one person went to the store. And so we're going to say in this case, right, this thing is the same as not even one. The opposite of not even one is going to be that it's false that 0 went to the store, right? This could also be called 0. It's false that 0 went to the store. So who went to the store? At least one went to the store. So we would call that some. Is it possible that everyone went to the store? If it's false that nobody went, is it a possibility that everyone went? The answer is yes. And therefore, that answer is or all. It's not always all. It's at least some, maybe all. So we're not going to say it's always all, but if it's false that 0 went, then at least one went, for sure. Getting you some. If at least one went, does that allow for the possibility still, by saying it's not 0, that everyone went? Yes. So you need to be aware that it's possible that all, but at least some. Now, you want to say it is false that all went to the store, right? We start here with all went to the store, and that's everyone. And then it becomes false that every single person went to the store. So now, what we're going to say here is if it's false that everyone went to the store, then at least one person did not go to the store. That's the same thing. If it's a lie that everybody went, then for sure, at least one person did not go to the store. So if at least one person didn't go to the store, is it possible somebody went to the store? Yes, so we're going to go with some. But if all we know is that it's a lie that everybody went to the store, is it a possibility that no one went to the store? Yes. But just because not everybody went to the store is not a guarantee that no one went to the store. And these are the kinds of things that people have trouble with when they're hearing logical statements and they're getting confused, threatened, or upset by what they're getting from them. So let's stop the video.